Julius Randle, I am done with this man. I'm calling for the New York Knicks to trade him. You're not going to win with him. His body language, the second his shot is not falling, he's defeated, and it has contagious effect. It's like a virus that hits everybody, no pun intended, considering the times we live in. Julius Randle is not the answer. Trade him. He needs to go.
Well, there you have it. We're about a week removed from the New York Knicks being eliminated in the Eastern Conference semifinals against the Miami Heat. We had epic performances from Jalen Brunson, but unfortunately, he was the only New York Knicks teammate to show up. We had no shows from Julius Randle. RJ Barrett had an impressively surprising playoff season, I should say, although his game 6 in the elimination round against the Miami Heat was suspect, and there's a lot of things that he needs to work on, as Stephen A. alluded to earlier in this clip here. And we have a lot of questions that need answering. But the one question that I want to propose today is, how do we get rid of Julius Randle? Now, if you heard Stephen A. at the top of the video, he expresses what I believe is the Knicks sentiment collectively, and that is that we are done with Julius Randle. D-O-N-E, done, right? We've seen enough. We have too much evidence against Julius Randle going back to the Atlanta series where he flailed out in the playoffs against the Miami Heat. Again, now in the situation, the Eastern Conference semifinals, his production has gone down. I'm going to talk a little bit more specifically about why that production matters, or lack of their production, but we've seen enough, right? We have endured his temper tantrums going back to last season with the thumbs down incident. This season, having more arguments with teammates, getting into a situation with Emmanuel quickly. So we've seen enough, right? And I believe what's happening now is that the entire outlook of this team has been changed by Jalen Brunson. The fact that we have a superstar here now, it completely changes the outlook of this team, right? Julius Randle is not a winning player at this juncture of winning, right? Jalen Brunson gives us an opportunity to be into the criteria of being a championship team. And if we're going to have Julius Randle as the second best player on this team alongside Jalen Brunson, that's not going to get enough to get it done. We need much better decision-making from our second best player. And Julius Randle has shown us, unfortunately, that he's not that guy. So what would we do in this situation right now? Obviously, there are going to be a lot of trade discussions to be had, and there's a lot of other candidates that I think would be appropriate to bring here in a situation where we would trade Julius. However, I believe I have the answer for what we need to have on this team, and a trade that I believe will change not just the outlook, but it would change everything for this Knicks team, and that is trading Julius Randle for Draymond Green. Now, if you're the Warriors, you're asking, or if you're any fan, any NBA fan for that matter, you're asking yourself, why would the Warriors make this move, right? Why would they trade for Julius Randle? Well, as been heavily rumored lately in the past few weeks, especially with the Golden State Warriors being eliminated against the Los Angeles Lakers in the second round of the Western Conference Finals, they are now perhaps looking to break up this core trio of Steph, Clay, and Draymond. And if those rumors are true, or partially true, let's say that they are looking to reinvent their trio, then obviously that would mean that Draymond Green would be the odd man out in this equation, and that they will be looking to retool with Steph and Clay still in the fold with a new third part of that tandem. And I think, honestly, that Julius Randle would be an excellent addition to the Golden State Warriors, especially considering you have extreme prolific shooters in Steph Curry and Klay Thompson, something that Julius Randle hasn't experienced with the Knicks team, let's just be honest. And if you put him in a situation with the established offensive scheme, Steve Kerr is obviously a better offensive coach than Tom Thibodeau. You put him around champions like Steph and Klay, who are, again, prolific shooters from the three and all over, then I think that allows Julius Randle to be one of the best third options in the NBA. And obviously, in terms of Draymond, with the whole history of him, punching teammates, punching Jordan Poole, I think they're pretty much done with him in terms of his behavior. Not to say that, the Knicks can't afford to have a type of personality like that on their roster, but I believe Draymond Green has all the best intentions, and I believe that incident with Jordan Poole, that was just a one-time thing. I don't think he's aggressive against teammates that much. But if you bring Draymond Green to this Knicks team, I'm telling you, that is something that would electrify the Garden. He gives us all the intangibles that Julius doesn't. He gives us toughness. No disrespect, Julius, but it's true. He gives us toughness. He gives us experience. Championships matter. Rings matter. And if we get a championship guy like Draymond, who's been there before, who has shown up on occasions where it matters, that's what we will need to get. And, if we're just talking about on paper, looking at the numbers, here are some key stats that I think will, open up your mind for the naysayers, for those who are like, hey, what are you talking about? You're out of your mind, right? Why would you trade a 25-10 guy for a guy that has been highly questionable on offense? Well, I have the answer for you, and I have the reason why I believe this trade will change everything with the New York Knicks. Now, obviously, again, going back to Julius Randle's season this year, the 2022-2023 season, he averaged pretty high numbers, 25 points per game and 10 rebounds per game. So that's what ultimately gave him an all-star nod to be a two-time all-star, right? So Julius can put up numbers, but regular season numbers. What we want from our second or third best player on the team is to put up numbers when it matters. And that's been, one of the main issues with Julius Randle, right? Let's take a look at his career regular season stats. So for his career, he's averaging 18.7, 9 rebounds a game, 3.5 assists per game, 47% from the field, 33% from three, and 2.8 turnovers per game. All right, so that's Julius' career for the regular season. And if you look at Draymond, right, nothing to sneeze at, right? Like, he puts up pretty minuscule numbers: 8.7 points per game, 7 rebounds, 5 assists, 44% from the field, 31 from three, 2.3 turnovers per game. So offensively, we know that Draymond he's capable of having, electric games, but we know that consistently he's not going to give you those crazy numbers like Julius can give you, right? But here is the main difference, right? And here's where it matters. Let's take a look at the career playoffs for both of these players and compare and contrast the difference. Now, highlighted in red, right, you will see that representative of his decline. Now, again, in the regular season, his numbers are up for Julius, right? But when it comes for the playoffs, he's down from his career average, 17, down from his field goal percentage, 34, down from three, 28, up from turnovers, 3.9, right? He stays the same at rebounds, and he averages a little bit more assists, but for the most part, his numbers are all down in the playoffs. And we've seen what that's given us against Atlanta, against Miami, and even against Cleveland. He has some difficulties. And if we look at Draymond's career playoffs, we notice that most of his numbers go up. His points go up. His rebounds go up. His assists go up. Field goal stays the same. His three-point percentage and turnovers go down slightly, but I believe that's just more about more usage that he's having in the game compared to the regular season. So, again, we're at a point now. This is not about like, oh, we're giving away a guy that's 25-10. No, we got Jalen Brunson now. So now our status, our agenda is completely different than where we were a year or two ago. We are in a situation where we are now, we fit the criteria of trying to win a championship. And if Julius Randle is going to continue to be our second best player on the team, then I don't think we have any chance of winning a championship. You bring a guy like Draymond, who has shown time and time again, he has the rings to prove it, that he turns his game up. He elevates his ability of play when it matters. That is what we were missing against Miami. Imagine having a guy like Draymond who knows how to pass, knows how to, make the right decisions in the right moments, won't get frazzled by the moment, right? Julius is just too predictable, right? If he can't isolate, we see so many times he, trying to create something out of nothing, right? He dribbles into the lane, he goes to that spin move, somebody's coming in from the weak side, either stealing the ball or he's turning the ball over, right? We've seen this happen time and time again. So while, again, looking at the production offensively, yeah, we will be losing 25-10, but, to be honest with you, I believe that's something that can be easily replaced. We've seen what Obi Toppin can do given the chance, right, with those minutes. So I believe those numbers that we will be missing from Julius can be made up from other guys on the team collectively. Obi, quickly. If we're getting rid of, a situation hypothetically where we're trading Julius for Draymond, then that's going to give RJ a little bit more of an opportunity to be, the focal point on the offensive end. So I'm not, alarmed or worried that we will lose that production because I believe we can make that up. Now, if we're talking about in terms of the salary, it works, it matches. Now, Julius has 3 years remaining on his contract, right? So He has next year, which is the 2023-24 season, the following year, and that last year, the 2025-2026 season, is a player option. So essentially, he has 3 more years left on his contract, right? And then he becomes an unrestricted free agent afterwards. If you look at Draymond has 1 year left on his contract, which is also a player option, but we have to believe that he's going to, agree to pick that up. Whether Golden State decides to move him ultimately remains to be seen, but he will definitely accept that year. So if we trade for, Draymond, the salaries match will offer a little bit, about maybe $2 million, but we can make that work with, draft compensation or what have you. Bring Draymond here for 1 year, right? Give us a chance to see if is Draymond the answer. And if he has an excellent year, then we consider signing him long term. And if he doesn't, we flip that money and we all of a sudden we have a superstar, top tier salary contract offer for whoever is available at the moment. So that's just my thoughts on this situation, guys. I think we really need to consider trading Julius this year, whether that be for Draymond Green or whether that be for any other player that can either match his production value or bring value to our team that we're missing now. I believe he will ultimately need to be moved. A decision has to be made. But if you ask me, I think we should seriously consider Draymond Green as an option if he's available. We don't even know if Golden State is actually serious about breaking up this tandem. But if they are, I think we should make a serious play for Draymond Green because I believe he can change the entire look of this Knicks team and take us from a second-round exit team to at least an Eastern Conference championship team. But time will tell. The offseason has officially begun, and we'll start to see moves happen shortly. But that's going to be all for the video, guys. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you agree with me. Do you think that this Draymond Green potential move could save the Knicks? Or do you have your eyes set on somebody else for Julius, somebody a little bit more prolific on the offensive end? But anyway, let me know what you think. Catch you guys on the rebound.